Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Rebecca. If you've never been here before, welcome. We have a little bit of a different setup today because today I'm going to be tier ranking my 5-star reads. Over the past, I want to say like 4 years, I've gotten much more like kind of back into reading post graduating from college. And so I thought it would be fun to do what I've seen a lot of other people do and tier rank my 5-star reads. So I just used this website. I think everyone uses it, Tier Maker. And I'm going to talk about the different tiers, and we are going to rank all my 5-star reads within the past 5 years. So first tier, we're going to start at the bottom, is demoted. That means that I probably misranked this book. It's actually probably a 4-star or maybe even lower, but it's not giving the 5-star vibes anymore. Then I've got pity rank, which is just slightly over demoted, where it's like I probably gave you a 5-star rank because I felt bad for you. Not necessarily, but probably it's not like a full-fledged, like maybe I was between a 4.75 and a 5, so I gave it a 5 to kind of like give it that little oomph, like I rounded up kind of situation. Then we've got tier number 3, that's cool. If you've ever seen Community, you know that you get it. But cool. It's like, it's good. I like it. It's, it is a solid 5, but it's not giving me like butterflies or anything like that. The next tier we've got is Give Me a Kiss. And that's like books that I love that like genuinely they're really good 5-star reads. Like I want a little kiss, I want a little smooch because I love this book so much. That's the vibe of Give Me a Kiss. And then the number 1 5-star, probably actually this is a 6-star read, is I'd Die for You. I would die for you. I would die for you. The characters, the storyline, probably the author, Till Death Do Us Part, I love you. So those are my like 6-star ultimate reads. And so with that explanation and that being said, let's dive on into this. Also, if you like this filming style, where I'm kind of like sat with a mic, and it's more chatty, it's more like I'm streaming. That's the vibe. I'm streaming. I'm a streamer. I'm on Twitch and I'm streaming. If you like this kind of vibe, I have some other videos coming up, mainly my Only Murders in the Building videos. I could probably film them this way if this works. So if you like it, drop a comment down below, especially if you're one of my like Only Murders besties. I love you. And let me know if you want me to film the next season in this setting. Let's jump into this video. So these are in no particular order. I just saved the images. So we're just gonna go from here. And I believe there's 38 books here, although it doesn't really look like it, but there's 38 books here. So we're gonna start with Jurassic Park, which is one of my most recent 5-star reads. And I'm gonna put Jurassic Park in Give Me a Kiss. I really enjoyed this book. It probably gets a little bit more of an oomph because it was my first 5-star read and only 5-star read of 2025. So it has a special place in my heart right now. And I love the Jurassic Park series. I love dinosaurs. So Give Me a Kiss. I love it. The next book I've got, I guess I'm not going to be giving like descriptions of it. I mean, everyone knows what Jurassic Park is about. So I'm not going to give a description of every book. This one is Lord Edgware Dies by Agatha Christie. So this book is going to go in cool. Agatha Christie, she's a great author. There's obviously some disclaimers there in the time period when she was writing these, and also like not all of her books are, how do I say this? Not all of her books are up to date. They're not all like with it. Like sometimes I have often liked a book less by Agatha Christie because of the language she's used when describing like certain types of people, specifically like people of color or like Jewish people. Like there's been a lot of things that she has written that are really not cool. So I do want to disclaim that. But her mysteries without all that, and the more recently published versions of these mysteries actually have a lot of that edited out. And so I have a couple of Agatha Christie 5-star reads in here because I really love mysteries. I find them extremely cozy. I really like her mysteries. They're very formulaic. But this one's going in cool because it's not my absolute top tier Agatha Christie book. It was a 5-star for what it was, but it's just cool. Cool. That's all. Okay, this one is called There Is Room for All of You Here, and I'm going to put that in Give Me a Kiss. This is a poetry book by Michaela Angemere, and it was a poetry book that I bought just based on the cover, but I absolutely loved it. It made me It made me feel very seen, and like I do genuinely feel like it is the epitome of like, you deserve to take up space. There is room for you here. So I don't read like a ton of poetry books, but I do like them. And this one is like top tier. I love Michaela Angemere, and specifically this book. The next book is Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. Recently came out as a movie. This one's gonna go in cool. This book is really incredible. I highly suggest you read it. The story is incredible. It just didn't give me those like, I mean, it's hard to say because it's a very serious book, and I think I have a hard time with serious books. It didn't give me those like flutters, but I don't feel like it's the kind of book that's going to give you those flutters because it's like real deal life situation. Like, it's a hard topic. It's not easy. So but it was a really great book. I highly suggest it to anyone who, I highly suggest it to everyone. I think everyone should read it. And I definitely think that it's a great book. So that's why it's going there. Next, I think I'm going to do all of these together, the ACOTAR series. So I'll move this up here. So first we've got A Court of Thorns and Roses. I think that one's going to go in, I feel like my feelings have, I think I'm going to put it in cool. I really liked this book when I read it. I think my thoughts have changed on it as I've read more books and kind of like had my tastes change, but I do genuinely really like A Court of Thorns and Roses. I just think that I loved the first book because I didn't know what was going to happen afterwards, and then reading the next two books I was like, you're kidding. This is going to go in cool. Then we've got Court of Mist and Fury. That's going to go in Give Me a Kiss because I love this book. I loved this book. It was my favorite of the three. You see like the most change and like things are happening in this book. And then A Court of Wings and Ruin is also gonna go in cool. It was a good book. I really liked it. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it in Give Me a Kiss. I genuinely really liked it. I loved watching Farrah like come into her power. And I haven't read the novella and the most current book in the series. So I am excited to continue it. I kind of want to do a reread, which maybe will like relight my love of these books. So yeah, 2 out of 3, Give Me a Kiss. I really liked these. I know it's like really popular to hate on these right now. Like, oh, we hate ACOTAR. And some of it is like for absolutely good reason in the way that like the representation that's in the book. But some of it I feel like is just hating because the girlies love it and people love to hate what the girlies love. Then we've got Bunny by Mona Awad. Bunny's gonna go and Give Me a Kiss. I loved Bunny. It was really a fun experience because I read it during Bunnyathon, which was something that Brooklyn from Brooklyn's Library and Mary from the Pumpkin Files ran last April, where we all read Bunny together and other like Bunny Easter April-y books. So it was a really fun experience and we got to talk about it as a group. It was kind of like a book club vibe. So I really liked it and it was such a fun new style of horror for me. So Give Me a Kiss. Now we've got Whispering Pines, The Infestation. This one's gonna go in Cool. This is a good book. It's a middle grade book and I really enjoyed it. So this book is by Heidi Lang and Katie Bartkowski. And I love reading middle grade horror because it brings me a lot of joy. I've talked about it in other videos where, like, as a child, I would not have been able to enjoy these because I was so scared of everything. And so now I feel like as an adult being into horror, I can like kind of reclaim these as cozy horror. And I think that like my child self would have really liked these if she had had the chance to be able to read them. So I am loving reading them right now. So that's why it's going to go in cool. That's the second of the series. And I ranked them both 5 stars. Duh, they're on this list. But this one it's good. It's good. It's a 5, but it's just good. Okay, this is How You Lose the Time War. I'd die for you. I would die for you. This is by Amal El Motar and Max Gladstone. And this book, first of all, it's like a shorter story. So if you're someone who, I don't know, like doesn't want to dig into like a deep series or like a really thick, chunky novel, this book is amazing. But also they pack such a punch in the pages that you do read. It's literally incredible. It's an amazing book. It's kind of like sci-fi dystopian vibes. I don't want to say too much because I feel like anything you know starts to give it away. And like the fun of reading this book is watching the journey that the characters go on. But on a basic level, it's about 2 characters. They are on opposite sides of a war. They each come from a different future and they're trying to change the course of history to put it into the direction of the future that they're from. So it's really interesting, but it's also incredibly touching. Like I die for you. I love this book. I love it. Okay. The Handmaid's Tale. I'm gonna put it in pity ranking, which I think is probably crazy, but I think it's not that I didn't enjoy it, and it does deserve to be a 5-star. It's incredible. I read it for the first time when I was in high school, and then I never finished it, and then I read it again more recently to finish it. And I think I'm going to put it in this ranking because, don't scream at me, I feel like I felt like I had to rank it a 5-star. Like, it's such a renowned book. It's like reading like Dracula or Frankenstein or any other like War and Peace and being like, nah, that's a 3. Like, I feel like the world knows that this is a 5-star. This is a 5-star book. And so I didn't feel like I had a lot of leeway in terms of being like, I don't think so. I feel like my opinion doesn't really matter. So that's why I'm going to put it there. It's not that it doesn't deserve to be a 5-star. It's an incredible book and feels way too close to reality for my comfort levels at this point in time. But at the end of the day, it's not my favorite of the 5 stars, so that's why it's going to go there. She's worthy. She's just not my fave. The next book we've got is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. I'm going to put this one in... this is hard. I think with Agatha's books, I'm going to put this one in cool. With the Agatha Christie mystery books, a lot of them, like I said, are very similar. It's formulaic. This one is an outlier in terms of the storyline. I have been reading them in order of her like Hercule Poirot series, which you don't have to do. This one, when you're reading along, like is different than the other ones that she had written up until this point. So it's interesting how it shifts. It's a really good book. It's one of my favorite of hers, but her books they don't give that like butterfly feeling, if that makes sense. Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I'm gonna put this in pity ranking. It's not that I ranked it higher at the time because of any sort of like pressure. I just think that like looking at all my other 5 stars, this one almost never think about this book. Like I did really enjoy it when I was reading it, but I never think about Check and Mate. So it's going in pity ranking. It's just not my favorite of the 5 stars, so that's where it's going. Then we've got Smile Beach Murder by Alicia Bissett. This one's going to go in Give Me a Kiss. I originally ranked this like a 4-star, but I think about this book all the time, which is very random because it's just like the cutest little like murder mystery on an island. But I think that like the cozy vibes really like plunged into my soul and brought me so much joy. And there's a second book that Alicia Bissett wrote in the same series. So I'm really excited to read that. Like I'm so excited, and that makes me think like I love this book. So this is Give Me a Kiss. It's not top tier, but I love her, so she deserves to be there. Okay, then we've got I'm gonna put this in. So this is A Bookshop on the Corner by Jenny Colgan. I think I'm gonna put this in I'd Die for You. I love Okay, I'm gonna put it in Give Me a Kiss. I'll explain that a little bit more because I have the second book in this too. So this one's going to be Give Me a Kiss because I loved it. I read this very randomly, just like on a whim. I was like, I'm going to read this. And it's ultimate cozy vibes. Woman decides to basically abandon her life and go live in the Scottish Highlands and buy herself a van, which she fills with books. And then she goes and sells said books to like the local people who don't have like a great access to books. And there's like a romance, and it's so cutie. It's so cutie. It's definitely Give Me a Kiss vibes. It doesn't give me like 6-star read because in some ways it's incredibly boring, but like in the most, it's so slice of life, mundane vibes. But I love that. I love it. For me, the everyday mundane, her living her life in the Scottish Highlands, like that was everything that I would love. I would love. Okay. Next, we've got The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. This is also going to go and Give Me a Kiss. Hear me out, because there's a lot of books in Give Me a Kiss. I loved this book. This was the first Stuart Turton book and the only one I've ever read, but I do own another one by him. And I just loved this book. I found it like incredibly hard to follow, but like it's a mystery, so in the best way. Like you just have to keep pushing through and you will eventually get there. It is difficult to understand, it is kind of hard to follow, but you just have to keep pushing through because the characters themselves are oh my gosh, I probably shouldn't have done that. The characters themselves are confused, and so like if you keep following the story, you will get there. It's so worth it in my opinion. I really, really liked this book. Okay, then we've got Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I'd Die for You. These are adorable. These are amazing. The storyline is so deep and wonderful. It's about, well, if you haven't read these already, they're very popular, but it's about these 2 boys who are kind of like navigating life and finding themselves and falling in love, and they are going through like the trials and tribulations of like being in high school and like being different. It talks a lot about mental health, and the side characters in the story are also incredible. It's about Nick and Charlie, and they are just like literally the cutest. It's a really beautifully drawn graphic novel, and I would highly suggest you read them if you haven't already. They're literally great, and I love these. So I'd Die for You. This is 2 in a row. Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley. I'd Die for You. I'd Die for You. One of my all-time favorite books. Probably my second favorite book ever. I love this book. I read it with my book club. It is about Donis, who is an Indigenous woman. This is a young adult novel, so she's like a teenager, and it's about her finding herself. Her mom is white and her dad is Indigenous, and so she feels like she doesn't quite fit into either world, but there's like so much more going on as well. It's a thriller, there's romance, there's grief. Like, this book had me sobbing 100 pages in. So I would die for you. Literally, I would die for you. I love you so much. I love this book. I love it so much. Everyone I talk to, I'm like, you should read this book. I actually went through a period where I bought this book as graduation gifts for all of my friends. Like, if you needed a gift, I had bought you Firekeeper's Daughter. So I hope you guys read it. Okay, then we've got The ABC Murders by Agatha Christie. I'm going to put this in pity ranking. The book cover, I got a special edition, so I think it gave it that bump that I was like, oh, it's a 5-star. But it's a good book. It's a great mystery. It's one of her like standout mysteries, but it just isn't to the tier that like the other ones are. Good, not great. It's a pity ranking. I still think it's a 5. It doesn't need to be demoted, but it's just good. Okay, The October Country by Ray Bradbury. I'm going to put this in cool. I love this book. I think you do have to take it with a grain of salt for the same kind of, like, it's not totally up to date and current on the things that it's talking about. Like, there are a couple stories that I would probably skip. But during the fall months when you're like trying to get into the autumn spirit, this book is top tier elite. You should read this in the fall, like September, October. Well, it's The October Country. You should absolutely read it in October. It's amazing. I highly suggest. I love it. It's the writing. It's the way he writes. I've read other Ray Bradbury books, and this one, scratches an itch. I love this. I love certain stories in this book. I'm not going to claim all of them, but I would say a good, decent number of them are really good. It's a book full of short stories, so if there's anything you're reading and you're like, not the vibe, skip. But they're weird and funky and kooky, and some of them are like I said, a pass, but the majority of them are like genuinely good, but they're weird. They're weird stories, but I think you should give them a chance. The next book is A Far Wilder Magic. I think I'm going to have to put this in I Die For You. This is like one of my favorite books. I love A Far Wilder Magic by Alison Saft. A lot of these books I read with my book club. I'm so lucky to have a book club that suggests such elite top tier books. And this was definitely a fave. It's a young adult romance story between Margaret and I forget the guy's name, but like literally it's so cute. And basically it's about this magical hunt that happens every year. I think I read this a while ago. And so they're like doing this magical fox hunt, and she's the hunter and he's the alchemist. So like magic / science kind of vibes. And her mom is kind of like nowhere to be found. Like, she's an alchemist and she's like gone off to like do something in the world. We don't really know what she's doing. And it's just like such a deep story about like grief and love and like wanting to be loved and accepted and how you should be treated, whether it be like by your family or your friends or whatever. And it also has like discussions about, you know, religion and discrimination in that realm. It's so good. So good. Okay, Murder on the Orient Express. Ooh, demoted. I think I felt a lot of pressure to rank this very highly because of, it's like the book, if you hear about Agatha Christie, it's one of the books that you hear about. And I think that part of it is probably that I had already seen the movie before I'd read the book. But for me, this just isn't as good as her other ones. And like I said, maybe it's because I knew who the murderer was, but I just wasn't as invested. And so I think honestly this is probably a 4-star for me. It's probably not a 5 anymore. Next is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I would die for you. I would die for you. I love this book. I love this book so much. I had never read a fantasy like this. This is a King Arthur fantasy retelling. It's incredible. We follow Bree, who's a young black girl. This is another young adult story. there's fantasy, there's a love triangle, there's romance, there's grief. I love a book that packs in all these different things, but it doesn't feel like it's like packing them all in. It feels like it makes sense. And this story completely took me by surprise, caught me off guard. It was incredible. The twists, the turns, and like I think there's already 2 more books out, and I think there's a 4th one coming, and I think that will be the last one in the series. I'm not 100% sure. So worth it. So I love this book. I would die for you. The next book we've got is One to Watch, and this one is demoted. I read this a really long time ago. I don't have a ton to say. It was good, but I never think about it. And like, if I love a book, I will think about it for years. For years. I will never stop thinking about it. So I just know that this one was probably really a 4-star, and it was close to the beginning of my reading journey. So I think that that's why it was ranked higher than it really should have been. Okay, next we've got The Peculiar Incident on Shady Street. This is cool. This is by Lindsay Curry, one of my all-time favorite middle grade authors. I love Lindsay Curry. And this one is cool. It's definitely probably my favorite Lindsay Curry book. I think it's the only one I've ranked 5 stars. Otherwise, the other ones would be on this list. Great book. I love it. It's very cute. If you like middle grade, or I think everyone should give middle grade a try. And I think like her middle grade horror books are incredibly, like, they have a lot of depth in them considering that they are middle grade. So I highly suggest everyone read them. Very cute and cozy vibes. Next, boom. Anyone who knows me knows that If We Were Villains by Emma Rio is my all-time favorite book. Like, this book's numero uno. Number 1 for me. I love her. I have never gotten over this book. I read it a couple of years ago, and then I reread it last year, and I'm kind of still in the midst of a reread. My goal is to reread it every year. I love this book. Like, and I don't even feel like you can classify this as like a mystery or thriller or like dark academia, which is the vibe, but not like the content of the book. The book is amazing. It's to me, and this might be a hot take, this book is a romance. If We Were Villains is a romance. I love it. I love the Shakespeare in it. I love the way that the Shakespeare and the lives of the students we are following, their lives are so intertwined with the Shakespeare that they're reading. It's all about a bunch of students who are in this acting school where they only do Shakespeare plays, and they're in their final year, and something happens and it changes the whole dynamic of the group. It is literally amazing. It's all told from Oliver's point of view, and I love him and I love this book. I will never stop talking about how much I love this book. I actually just gave it to a friend as a gift because I think everyone should read it. It's so good. So I'd die for you. That's a 6-star read if I've ever seen one. Like, oh. Next, we've got Bless Your Heart by Lindy Ryan. This is going in Give Me a Kiss. I loved this book. Another book club pick. And it's a cozy horror about the family of women who basically defend their like small town and the world against these like zombie vampires. So basically they work at a mortuary and they make sure that whatever dies stays dead. Like, that's their kind of tagline. This book caught me by surprise. It's got a lot of depth. A lot of things happen, especially near the end, that I did not expect. It's not a book that's like, oh, you're a main character, you get to survive. Like, and I love that about books because it keeps you on your toes. You don't know who's going to make it till the end. And I want to be surprised. Surprise me. This one's really good. And the second one actually just came out on April 15th. So I'm really excited to dive into that. So the next book we have is The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. And I am going to put this in... I'm going to put this in cool. This is actually a book that I originally ranked as a 4-star, but ended up moving it up because I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I feel like cool is a good place for it. It makes a lot of sense. The Broken Girls is a really great story. It is a kind of dual timeline going back and forth. Pretty sure there's like multiple POV, and it's a thriller horror story. So it was really great. I enjoyed it, and I would definitely suggest it. The next book we've got is The Bookshop on the Shore, or By the Shore. And this one is going in I'd Die for You. And I really liked this book. This one's also by Jenny Colgan. It's in the same series as The Bookshop on the Corner. I loved it, but I liked the second one more. And I think that it's because the love interest is more interesting, the storyline is a little bit more interesting, and the main character is a little bit more interesting. And also, like, in the second book, they kind of make you not like the character from the first book. So I think that changed the way that I felt about The Bookshop on the Corner, because Nina from the first book is kind of a dick in the second book to Zoe, who's our second book main character. So that's why I'm putting this one in I'd Die for You. I really like this one, and I really like the other one too, but it's Give Me a Kiss. The next book I've got is Whispering Pines. This is Give Me a Kiss. This is the first book from this series. So Whispering Pines and then Infestation is the second one. And this is a middle grade book. Very interesting, spooky, creepy, kind of almost sci-fi, definitely horror-esque. And it is a really great middle grade horror series. I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about middle grade horror, and they just don't talk about middle grade at all. And I loved this book. I love listening to these when I like go for a walk with my dog. It's just something that like you don't have to commit a lot of brain power to. Like I don't have to be focused and feel like I'm gonna miss something. But they're so fun. Such a great book. And this one is definitely like ghostly, spooky vibes. So Give Me a Kiss. And Then There Were None. This one is gonna go in Give Me a Kiss. This one's probably my favorite of Agatha Christie's books. It is a really great mystery, and the story goes that a bunch of people go to an island and slowly they start dying one by one until there were none. And so you are trying to figure out like who is the murderer, like who's doing this and what's happening. So it's a really great story. One of her most famous, absolutely one of her best. I highly suggest it. If you haven't read it, you should. And there's a lot of like movies and TV series off of it. So it's a very fun world to kind of dive into and see all the different media that they have for this story. Next, we've got Cackle. I'm going to put Cackle in pity ranking. This isn't really a pity ranking. I just think that it's not one of my all-time favorite 5-star reads. Like, it's really good and I enjoy it. I actually had it as a 4-star and I bumped it up to a 5. So I think that's why it fits in this category. Like, it was kind of on the 4.75 to 5-star mark, and I bumped it up because I do really like it. It's a great story. It's by Rachel Harrison. It's my favorite Rachel Harrison book that I have read. And I love the like witchy vibes, women empowerment that is coming from Cackle, but it doesn't like necessarily give me that like fluttery butterfly feeling of like, oh my god, I love you so much. I love you so much. But I do really like Cackle, so that's why it's going in pity ranking. The Last Time I Lied. This one is also going in pity ranking because I did really like it. This is by Riley Sager. This is my favorite Riley Sager book I've ever read. And it was also on the cusp. Like, is it a 4.75? Is it a 5? I don't think it should be demoted. I think it does deserve to be a 5-star. It's, I don't rate a ton of thrillers 5 stars. It has to be really good for it to be a 5-star if it's a thriller. So you know that these are some of my favorite thrillers. But The Last Time I Lied, I think that like it just hits 5-star, but it doesn't go past that. And it's all about like a summer camp, and jumps between timelines of like then and now and what happened back then and how it's impacted by what's happening right now. But I really liked the way that Riley Sager, like the direction he went with this novel was very interesting. Next, we've got All the Dangerous Things, and I'm going to put that in... I'm going to put it in pity ranking also. I also feel like it just tipped over into a 5-star. Like, I did really like it, but it doesn't give me the emotional depth that, like, The Broken Girls gives me. That book is, like, ooh, it's not just a thriller. It, like, really tugs on your heartstrings. And All the Dangerous Things also tugs on your heartstrings. But I think that The Broken Girls maybe just did a little bit more. Whereas this one, there were parts where it was a little bit slow. I don't think about it very often, but it was still a great book. And I would totally read another Stacey Willingham book. Like, I plan to read more. And I did really like it. It deserves the 5-star, but it's not top tier. Next, we've got Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I would die for you. I love this book. And the funny thing is that I didn't really recognize that I loved this book until after I was done with it. And I was like, I can't stop thinking about this book. I want to live in this world. I love these characters. I loved the storyline. It's a bit slower. Some people say it's boring. I don't think it's boring. There are things that happen in this book. It's like a low stakes fantasy. You could live in it and survive. It's like cozy and fun and cute and like romantic. And the idea of an orc who no longer wants to like fight in battles and decides that they just want to open their own cute and cozy coffee shop. I mean, I don't want to fight my own battles anymore. I want to open a cute and cozy coffee shop. I'm tired of this. So anyway, I guess I relate. No, I'm not fighting battles the way that she is, the way Viv is. But I love this book. The Mysterious Affair at Styles. This is the first Agatha Christie book I ever read, and it's going to give me a kiss because the cozy vibes, the storyline. It was like English countryside vibes, cute little detective man. I don't know, everything about it was cozy. It was just like through and through a great little mystery. So give me a kiss. I loved it. Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. This is Going and Give Me a Kiss. This is like a sci-fi time travel book that can be quite confusing. It, I believe, was the 2022 Goodreads Choice Award winner, and that's why I read it. And I went in completely blind. I did not know what was going to happen with it, but I really, really, really loved it. It was a great book, and I highly suggest it. So I think you should probably go in pretty blind. It was absolutely knocked my socks off, 5-star for me, and that's why it goes in Give Me a Kiss. I loved it. And it's kind of an interconnected series. So there are other books that you can read before this one that relate to it, but you don't have to. I went into this one not knowing that, but there was one part where I was like, what happened to that girl? And apparently it's answered in one of her other books. So I'm going to have to go back and read it because I was like, what? We just mentioned this and then we never hear from her again? Okay. Highly suggest. And then the last book I've got is Carrie Soda's Back, and that's going in I'd Die for You. I loved this book. I sobbed at one part when I read it, which I feel like is kind of maybe not common. I don't know. I loved it. I think that I love the way that it's a discussion about women getting older and their value to society, and Carrie Soto being like, I'm not going to take it lying down. I'm not going to just be this. I'm not going to be characterized as too old to play the game of tennis and just lie down and take it. she was in her 30s. It's, if you haven't guessed, it's a story about a famous tennis player who decides to go back and play tennis once someone catches up to her record, and her record is threatened. She's like, not on my watch. And she kind of rolls back onto the scene, having been retired for multiple years. And she has to like relearn all this stuff, and it's incredibly like motivating. But I think that, you know, the overall storyline of like, what does it mean to be a bitch, and what does it mean to be a woman in your 30s, and does that mean that your value has evaporated? And obviously the answer is no. And to see Carrie go through this, it was just so touching and special to me. So I absolutely loved that book, and I'd die for you. So that's my tier ranking of my 5-star books. If you've read any of these, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Are there ones that you'd be like, absolutely not, you should have put that in I'd die for you, or absolutely not, demoted? Let me know. I want to know your thoughts. This was so fun to make, and I would love to make some more of these. If you have any ideas on other tier ranking videos you want to see, you let me know. I'll do it for you. And I love you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good YouTube stuff. It really helps, and I appreciate you so much for watching. So I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!